Good morning, this is Yvette, and today we're going to make a Sloppy Joe, and this is a very quick way to make it, and this is one where you have all the ingredients usually on hand. You don't need the little packet that you open. Sometimes it's got a lot of processed stuff in it. So this is a really quick way. I'm very pressed for time today. I'm going to my son's field trip, but I have an hour this morning. So I'm going to quickly put this together, stick it in the fridge, and then whenever I get back, all I have to do is heat it up in the pot. So first thing, I'll tell you the list of ingredients. You're going to need some olive oil. That's just to put in the pan while you're browning your meat. This recipe I got from Tyler Florence. He's a celebrity chef on TV, and this is his Ultimate Sloppy Joes. Very good. I modify it a little bit. He likes to do 1.5 pounds of lean turkey. I will take 1 pound of the turkey, and I take 1 pound of a good ground beef. I think it gives it a little bit better flavor, and you're still cutting down the fat by having 1 pound of turkey. So that's the way I like to make it. So it's you know, a ½ pound more than what the recipe calls for. So I go a little over in the other ingredients, and you'll see how I do that. So you need a little olive oil in the bottom of your pan, and that's going to be to brown your meat. We're going to do that first. And then we're going to cut up an onion. We're going to dice this up real well and put that in with the ground meat while we are browning that. And then you need a little salt and pepper. We're going to use ketchup. We're going to use 2 cups of ketchup. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of yellow mustard and just a pinch of cayenne pepper, not too hot because the kids want to eat this. And we're going to use some brown sugar. It's 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of a tomato paste, and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This is something that you keep on hand because it does go in a lot of different recipes and it doesn't go bad. So I buy a big container of that and keep it in the pantry. And then that's it. We're going to put all these ingredients together. You throw them all together once the meat is browned and the onions are sauteed a little bit. You throw it all together, mix it up. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and that's it. It's done. So we're going to serve that on some whole wheat buns later. We're going to toast some whole wheat buns and serve that up. And for the kids, typically what I do is I will keep some French fries. You know, this is a good organic, no preservatives. It's a quick little side to go with a Sloppy Joe. So keep those on hand in your freezer, or you can keep sweet potato fries. We love these as well. So this goes really well with this dish too. Chop up a little fruit. Great little dinner that you can throw together real quick and feel good about serving your family. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and chop that onion. Now for you seasoned cooks out there, you can just fast forward this part, but if you are a beginner and you don't know the secret to dicing up an onion, I'm going to show you how I learned how to do it, and I tell you, it really makes chopping up an onion go very quick. So you're going to chop off the 2 ends, and then just take that skin right off. It peels right off when you've got the 2 ends off. Just peel that off. Sometimes you have to take the second layer too. So that's it. You just peel that off, and then I cut it in half because it's much more manageable that way. And then what you do is you're going to want to lay that down flat like that, and you're going to cut little segments. If you look at the onion itself, you'll see that it's got these little lines in it. And I kind of use that as my guide. I slice up those little lines pretty thin as you can. So whenever you're slicing it, just make sure you hold those slices in place as you're cutting it. So we'll just keep cutting like this, and with my fingers I'm kind of pushing it together so that they all stay together. And that makes it easy when we're going to do the next slight dicing of this. I'll show you. It's the way that the onion is made, and that's makes it really easy. So let me show you. Start dicing down like this, and if you look at this, you'll see they're little dices. They're already diced up just by cutting it this way. So it makes it really quick. So go ahead and dice that up. I'm going to go ahead and get through the rest of this onion, and then whenever I come back, we're going to be browning the meat, okay? Be right back. Okay, so we've got our onions. They're in the pan. I use a heavy pan that's, I don't know, maybe 4 inches deep. You could just use any heavy pan, and I've got a little olive oil in there, and you can hear it starting to sizzle. I'm going to go ahead and put in my ground beef and my turkey, and I'm just going to break that up with a wooden spoon and get that browned up. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll come back and throw all the other ingredients together. I wanted to show you what this looks like before it gets all browned up. The onions, the turkey, and the ground beef. I also went ahead and put in my salt and pepper, and I'm just going to cook this until the meat is all brown and the onions start getting a little translucent. And once that's done, then you're ready to move on to the next step. So the meat's all browned and our onions are turning pretty translucent, so that's just the way we want it. Now you're going to see how easy it is to throw together. We are going to take a 1/4 cup of yellow mustard and just dump it right in there. We're going to put in 2 cups of ketchup. There's 1 cup. And then just squirt that in. You're going to see how quickly really this recipe comes together. It's a very, very, very fast recipe. Usually you have all these ingredients on hand, so it's one of those when you're like, oh, what am I going to make for dinner tonight? Just throw this together and your family will love it. It's very, very quick. Cayenne pepper, you're going to put, it calls for 1/4 teaspoon, but I think that's a little too much just because I know my little guys don't like it to be too spicy. And then you're going to do any kind of tomato paste that you have. You're going to do 2 tablespoons. I'm going to go kind of heaping tablespoons because if you remember I put in a 1/2 pound more than the recipe called for. So once you start to modify recipes for yourself, that's kind of the rule of thumb. If you add 1/4 more of the meat, then maybe you're just going to put a little bit more of the other ingredients. And as you start to do this, you'll see you'll kind of perfect that along the way. So, all right. So we also need to put some brown sugar in. Get a tablespoon. I like to keep my brown sugar in an airtight container. It keeps it from getting hard. So this one calls for, let's see, where is it? It is 1 tablespoon of the brown sugar. So again, I'll do a little bit of a heaping tablespoon of that. Put that in. And then we're going to mix this together. So we have all the ingredients in here. I'm stirring them up. And then after you get it all stirred up, we're going to put just a splash of that apple cider vinegar. It calls for a tablespoon, but you can eyeball that and get that stirred in. And once that's in, you're going to simmer this. Turn your fire down to, a simmer, and let it simmer for about 12-15 minutes. Turn it off. And then once I do this for today, because I'm in a hurry and I got a big day ahead of me, I'm going to put all of this inside of a bowl with a lid, and I'm going to stick it in the fridge. And then whenever I come back later today, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the same pot, heat it up, and serve that on those toasted buns. And that's it. So this is something you can make really, really quick if you've got one of those really crazy busy days. I know that happens a lot around here. And the family loves it. I mean, it's a really good, ultimate sloppy joe, if you will. And with those sides that you serve, fresh fruit, maybe a salad, maybe some French fries that you bake in the oven, you kind of feel good about serving it. So anyway, hope you enjoy it as much as we do. So bon appetit.